I can't believe we're back here, really, for all the wrong reasons. Just before New Year, it seems so positive. Everyone here in the newsroom is celebrating because we know you well now and we followed what you've been through. And now it looks like because of those riots, you're back to pleading and feeling like you have to be even stronger now.
Yeah, no, I think that's exactly right. That before Christmas we were all getting very hopeful, and I was on telly, your show and many other shows, and really sort of waiting by the phone thinking it was about to happen. And we got messages to say, listen, we think on the 28th, you know, she could be out on the 29th. So it was as close as that.
Yeah.
And then it didn't happen, and the demonstrations happened, and you know, I thought, well, I'll just wait for it to calm down, and maybe then... and it didn't. And that's right, it's what now, 2 months later on, so it's felt like, well, we've waited long enough.
So you've had to get... It feels like you've had to get tougher. It seems that you've had to get more openly critical because you've been so calm in trying to, in a sense, play the long game. And is that part of what this is, going to the UN and saying, look, this now amounts to torture, let's try that approach? I mean,
I think we've been mixed, and that, you know, you've been on your show calm and I've been on your show angry. And you know, I have said before that I think she's being tortured, but of course it's one thing as a husband to say it. It's nothing to sort of put in a formal...
You speak to her regularly. I think you last spoke to her on Tuesday. The conditions in the prison are not great at all. There are rumours of torture. Just, you know, you haven't seen your child.
Sure.
You don't go to that country for fear of reprisal.
Well, I can't
your
get
wife's
visa.
Right. Your wife is in prison on trumped-up charges. How do you... I mean, I think it's a great question by Kate, and I'm sure your approach is right, but most people will be doing their head in.
Well, no, and I mean, I have my moments, and certainly part of, you know, it's easy to go on telly when you're positive, and actually when you're feeling really down, you just need to sort of hide away and part
Do you have hope? I mean, you've requested a meeting with the Deputy Foreign Minister of Iran. What is next? What are you hoping for? Well,
hopefully we will be able to meet with him. I mean, you know, it's been hard to meet with the Iranians before, so I'm not counting my chickens. And to find out what's going on. I mean, one of the things that happened, last week, was we got told by the judiciary, who's the guy formerly in charge of the case, to say, listen, it's closed with us. It's closed the Revolutionary Guard. It's just the Foreign Ministry that's holding it up. So, well, meeting with the Foreign Ministry to find, well, what, I mean, you know...
Could the British government do more? Let's nail it, yes or no?
Well, she's not out yet.
Could they do more?
I mean, I never know quite what they are doing, so it's hard to answer definitively.
Well, you need to know what they're doing. That's wrong.
But certainly, yeah. I mean, all the time she's not home, then they could be doing more.
And as in it itself, when you last spoke to her, you had a big emotional setback for her, didn't you? That your daughter was unwell. So tell us what that was like.
I mean, she was unwell she was in hospital with the flu and on a drip, so something that small children get. But obviously, if you're stuck in prison, it feels so much the worse, and you know, it gets magnified. So she's been very up and down, just because, you know, we were so hopeful for Christmas. And the problem with making a nice, clear target is boy, do you feel it when it misses.
When it falls apart. And when you've put together this sort of document, if you like, to the UN about how she's been treated amounts to torture, some of the details in there of other members that she shared a cell with being taken out and beaten up and then disappearing. I mean, tell us about that.
Yeah, so it's been tough in the ward just recently. So there have been some prisoners that were sort of essentially being difficult for the authorities, that were then beaten up, transferred to a different prison, are now on hunger strike.
So casually.
No,
I mean, for a woman for anyone in prison, woman or man, to be sharing a cell with someone, then know that they've been beaten up, and then them to just, as far as she's concerned, disappear. That is absolutely terrifying psychologically, isn't it?
No, Kate, you're absolutely right. But I guess what she's saying is that, I mean, what's the other option? You'd go crazy yourself. I haven't seen my kid. I wonder what's happening to my wife. You've got to try and keep some clarity, but respect you, because I don't know how you managed to do it.
You've got to focus on what you can change.
Yeah.
And you know, that's not to say that I do it right, but keeping on battling and keeping on focusing on, you know, her story being clear, that she can come home, that, you know, next week this foreign minister's coming. It doesn't help for me to rant at him. It helps for me to say, listen,
well, I would have
what
can we do?
Of course.
I agree with that.
So what's your next step, your next target?
Well, so I've invited the foreign minister to meet. So we'll try and do that. That's next week, and we'll see if that's possible. And then, obviously, we've put in this submission to the UN to rule on whether it's torture. That'll take a couple of weeks. And so we'll see if he rules, then we'll act in one way, and if he doesn't, then...
Maybe the Foreign Secretary should spread even more love on Valentine's Day and ignore Brexit a bit and free this woman from her hell, because it's not right, is it?
Well, we'll certainly be sort of trying to catch up with the Foreign Secretary and yeah, focus on what he can do next.